This is sick. All right. Oh, welcome everyone to my podcast Couch Potato. I'm your host Mayank Anand, and as you can see, today there's an unknown face here. I mean, a lot of times you've seen my friends from India and my college people doing podcasts with me, but today I have for you someone whom I met on Omegle. So today I have with me the rapper who goes by the name Psycho, and he is the part of the duo M.I. Psycho. And to my right, you can see, actually to my left according to OBS, to my left according to the OBS, you can see the couple's like a very beautiful, cartoonized pic of the couple. You guys are very sweet. I mean, I can see that you guys are very sweet, and I've heard your tracks. I've heard all of it. We just gave our audience a new track that you're gonna release. So I would like to start, this podcast by saying that I am pleased to meet you, Psycho, and I mean, to meet underdogs like you is the mission, because there's so much unrecognized talent in this world that needs to come out on top. And you deserve fame, man. So the first things first, give my audience an introduction of yourself.
What's going on, guys? I'm so happy to be here today with Mr. Couch Potato himself. This is a great opportunity for me. As he said, I go by M.I. Psycho. I'm a hip-hop duo from Boston, Massachusetts. About 2-3 years back, me and my wife, we got together and we started making music together, and she sings the hooks and I do like these melodic verses, and the combination is just music to your ears. It really is.
Yeah.
And, man. So we just been grinding ever since.
So that I can vouch for, that the combination is music to your ears. I've tried and tested it myself, and obviously I'll drop the link to your tracks on my description, so people who want to go and listen to some new stuff which that you have never listened to, and from a very talented duo, you guys can check out the link in descriptions. So Psycho, as you said, you're from Boston, Massachusetts. So 3 years ago, what happened that led you to actually get into music production and rap?
So crazy story. I've actually been rapping for about 10 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And I started in 2013.
Yeah.
And I met one of my best friends.
Yeah.
His name's Venge Music, and we created an international record label together called OWG One Nation. So back then I was just all about like making like real hardcore hip hop, like metaphors, like old school boom bap stuff.
Yeah.
It was just me doing it all by myself.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and we didn't get a lot of traction, to be honest. Back in those days, we were starting off, we were learning. But then, man, a few years back, I walked into a post office when I was in a real negative space in my life, actually.
Yeah.
I just got done kind of living like the highest moment of my life, I
Yeah.
felt at the time. I was
Yeah. Keep going.
I was no, you're okay, man. I was I was in I was in the moment of my life where I had like a lot of friends.
Yeah.
I had a lot of people around me constantly. And then I went from that to a drastic change of just
Okay.
being by myself and being
Yeah.
alone 24/7.
Yeah.
So I had to learn how to like deal with that mentally, because
Yeah.
for me that was a big thing, because I was always used to being around people. I was always used to being like the center of attention.
Yeah.
So I went from being that to just alone and around nobody, and really didn't have much. So one day I was actually going into a post office and I was checking my mail, man.
Yeah.
So crazy. And I look over and I notice this beautiful woman staring at me.
Wow. Love
And
story incoming, guys.
man, and the craziest love story.
Yeah.
So, and she looks at me and she says my name, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I look at her and I'm like, wow, how, like, what? Like, I'm confused for a second. Like, how does she know my name? You know?
Yeah.
And man, it comes to find out that me and my wife went to middle school together, man. Right?
Oh damn. And
And
you didn't know it?
listen, I knew her at the time, but
Yeah.
I I I went through so much as a kid.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll get into that a little later, but
Yeah.
I moved around a lot, schools.
Oh.
So
Okay.
I met a lot of people in my life.
I
I
understand.
moved around, you know. So I knew her, but I just couldn't really remember her. So we started talking and we started hanging out, and then
Yeah.
next thing leads to another thing then, and we got together, and then a couple years later I had to propose, man. I knew she was the girl for me.
That's nice.
So yeah, man. So yeah, and we started, and then that was when the combination of music just changed, because it just happened to turn out that my wife is way more creative than I am, actually.
Okay.
She draws, she does photography, she sings, she does special effects makeup. So she's just like
Wow.
this crazy artistic person. So we started making music together, man. She was singing these hooks for me, and the beats were just coming on together different. They weren't so old school boom bappy no more. They were
Yeah.
some modern new age like love type stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, we put a whole EP together called Love in 2019.
Yeah.
I released it in 2020, and man, that's when the real traction for music started taking off. My fan base really started growing. I actually, you know, I could see people actually starting to enjoy my music more.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where the I met her. My journey took me here, man, and since then my life has changed a lot, and we're still grinding, we're still working. But yeah, I gotta say that my wife is probably the key to helping me out with my music a lot, man.
That's amazing, man. That's amazing. I mean, I'd love to actually someday interact with your wife too. Like the three of us here talking some stuff, just chilling maybe. So let's plan a live scene someday, to have
Definitely,
fun someday.
100%. I know
Yeah,
she would love to do that, and she would love to sing for you live and stuff. She loves to do stuff like that.
that's
So
amazing. That's
that'd be
amazing.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so
Um,
basically, I mean, you actually put yourself out there because of your wife, right? Like that was the basic, like I gotta say that was the base of everything that you have today, I guess.
100%. She's like that foundation that, like, I was already
Yeah,
doing music,
yeah.
but I couldn't find my let's say that
You couldn't
she
find your
helped me
thing.
find
Yeah,
yes, she helped me find who I was as a musician and really start making that next level music.
man, you guys are like that. Those romantic couples that they show in the movies in Bollywood actually. They do it in Hollywood and Bollywood, where the partners actually understand the meaning of life, the meaning of I mean what they want to do exactly, all these things through each other, and that's just amazing. I think every relationship should be somewhere or the other like that, helping each other out, figure out life, and being each other's backbone through it, I guess.
100%. And that's what I feel like, especially today in this generation, I feel like we get so misguided in like commercialized things. We care like
Yeah.
sex is super commercialized these days, and like
Yeah.
the way people dress and the way people look is super like just commercialized. And we get so caught up in that we kind of miss the moment to connect
Yeah.
with true soulmates.
That is so true. I mean, I understand that. Yeah. And when you said that there was a drastic change in your life from a place of center of attention to a place where you hardly had anyone around you to talk to. I guess in the recent times that has happened to me, and I relate to it a lot. So I understand how you felt in that moment, and I guess that's when you found hip hop, right? That was like uh, your go-to thing to find solace somewhere for something that you had lost, or a hole that was found deep inside you, you know.
Exactly. And it was
Yeah,
my new way of connecting with people from all around the world and
yeah.
connecting with people who shared the same interests as me. And because as you get older, it's harder to make friends in life.
Yeah.
When you're young, man, it seems that friends just come in abundance.
That is because I think
And
when you're young, there's no politics involved, and as you grow older, there's just more and more politics involved, and you just start to doubt people a lot before you even get into the first conversations, and then uh, I guess one thing leads to another, and you were going to be great friends, but then you lose on him or her, and that's
yeah,
just
and
really
you're
prominent nowadays.
people I feel like people grow in different ways, and
Yeah,
exactly in there's things in life that you might not care about when you're young, and
yeah,
as you get older you care about them. You start to care about certain things that you learn that like maybe someone you considers your friend,
yeah,
he doesn't care about, or he's not interested in the same things as you are as you grow.
yeah.
So yeah, man, it's real hard. So that's where music for me has helped me. I'm 30 years old, man. I'm
Yeah,
30
yeah,
years old.
yeah,
So I'm not a young kid anymore doing this.
yeah,
Um, so music really helps me as an outlet. Like I've met people like for me, my main goal with music
yeah.
is one day I want to start a nonprofit in an inner city, and I want to
Oh,
help younger kids, man, who like are into like gang violence and drugs and stuff like that. I want to show them that there's a different way in the world. Like that's my main goal with music. Like I just want to meet as many people as I can.
mm,
So when I do start my nonprofit business, I
yeah,
have so many contacts. I have producers I know. I have people because just recently I met a guy who has started his own nonprofits. So he knows how to write grants. He knows how to do all that business side of things that you like as you get older, you learn like, okay, music is fun, but music is a business. If you
yeah,
want to do this type of stuff, you
yeah,
have to know business as well as music. So
yeah. I understand. So you want to start a sort of artistic rehabilitation center that would actually help these kids grow in a very beautiful way, I suppose. Yeah,
yeah, man, and whether they do music or they like to draw, or
yeah,
even if their parents they have to work and they have nowhere to go really after school, and
yeah,
maybe they don't even do any type of music or art, but they play sports or they want to
yeah,
try something new, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Just a place where they can learn positivity
And they can
and
belong to.
learn
Yeah,
exactly. And I feel
yeah,
because I feel like a lot of problems with life is a lot of people don't find a place that they feel like they fit into life. So
yeah,
they feel like they end up like like kind of like straggling through life.
yeah.
And man, that's like that can do bad things to your mental health if you don't feel like
That
you're
is true.
important.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is true.
So I it's great to make people feel like they're important. It's great to make people feel like they matter. So
Hmm. That I agree with. Yeah. Yep.
that's why on that note I just a little sponsor promotion. On that note, with those type of vibes, that's why I currently right now I'm wearing a shirt by a company called Spread Love,
Yeah.
and they sell clothing and all types of like other stuff. And their main motto behind it is like like less hate and more love. So
Hey, spread love.
it's
Can you make me a brand ambassador? Promotion's already been done on my channel, so I guess I deserve something for that.
honestly, man, I guarantee you, I'll actually after this, I'll
Yeah.
hook you up with their Instagram.
All
If you
right.
message them, man, they'll
Okay.
probably hook you up with a spot, especially because you're doing some great YouTube content. And
Thank you, man.
man, honestly, what you're doing is great, and what you're doing is super positive, and
Yeah.
it's super in line with their message. So,
Yeah.
man, yeah,
Thank you, man. Thank
we'll
you.
have yeah, we'll hook
So,
you up, man. We'll get you in there.
yeah, as we were discussing, you said that you've actually been doing hip hop for a really long time before actually getting into the, I guess, the commercial side of it, where you have to promote that shit, and earn a living out of it. So,
Right.
you have been doing hip hop for yourself for a long time. So, I mean, everybody has a story as to why did they start doing something in specific, and 10 years ago you were just 20. I mean, 20 is a very young age to start doing anything, and you've just come out of a childhood, and that is why you have realized that, okay, I need to do this to actually leave the past behind, or maybe change the way I look at things, or something like that. So what was your life story, that gave you inspiration towards rap? And tell me, I mean, I also want to know as to whom did you listen to at that time? Who was your biggest inspiration when you started rap and all, and how did you relate to him
Oh,
and all that?
so man, so me and hip hop, we go back to like the first time I ever got introduced to rap,
Yeah.
I was 8 years old, I want
Yeah.
to say, and I had a friend
Yeah.
whose dad worked as he worked in like a place where like they take like trash cars, like when you know what I mean, your car's totally broke down and there's nothing else to do with
Oh,
it. It's
yeah,
like a
yeah,
junk
yeah.
lot. Yeah.
Junkyard,
So
yeah.
he yeah, junkyard, yeah. So he worked there, and he used to dig through the cars, and there would be like all types of CDs left and stuff. And
Oh,
he used to take the CDs home, and he would give us CDs and stuff.
all right.
One day, man, he came home with this Wu-Tang CD.
Okay.
Man, my friend listened to that CD, and I had heard some, obviously some like radio like rap stuff,
Yeah, yeah.
like more, but at that age, I was listening to like, I won't even lie, like it was like pop music. So it was like Backstreet Boys,
Yep.
NSYNC,
I
you know what I mean?
I relate to that, yeah.
That's what was popular. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what we were listening to as kids. So then I had this friend, and he comes over to my house, man, and he has this Wu-Tang CD. I don't know if you've ever heard of Wu-Tang, if you ever really listened to
I
Wu-Tang.
have heard of, yeah. I have heard of him, yeah.
Yeah. So man, they're nothing like Backstreet Boys.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, as an 18-year-old, that's the first thing that always comes to your mind. They're nothing
Man,
like Backstreet Boys, yeah.
nothing. Yeah. So this kid comes over, and he plays. I'm 8 years old, and he plays this Wu-Tang song for me.
No.
Man, and the way they were rapping on that song, man, it literally blew my, like it just blew my mind. Like I was an 8-year-old kid, and I was just sitting there like it it made me think about things that I never thought about
Wow.
as an 8-year-old kid.
Wow.
You know what I
That
mean?
is.
So it was a different level of, it was almost like intelligence. It
Yeah,
was teaching me
exactly.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was something that I'd never seen in school.
Hmm.
I never really seen on TV. I never heard on the radio. So then I this one guy comes on, right? And
Yeah.
he's actually not the most popular in Wu-Tang. His name's Old Dirty Bastard.
Okay.
Man, the way this guy raps, man, he is like, he's like funkadelic,
Yeah.
but he raps though, like a hardcore rapper.
Okay.
So like I was super, as a kid, I was already into like funk music. Like
Yeah.
I listened to a lot, like what's that song? Play that funky music, white boy. I
I
don't know if you
guess
ever heard that.
I guess I have once or twice. I mean, I don't have a
Yeah, yeah.
good memory of it, but I think I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, so friggin' I was really into like old school funk music at that age,
Yeah.
because my uncles listened to it, and I just
Yeah.
heard it from my family. So I heard this rapper come on, and he's like, "Oh baby, I like it raw. Yeah, baby, I like it raw." And it was just it was so different. It was just so different than what everyone else on this song was doing. It was so different than anything I ever heard. And
Okay.
he didn't care about being weird. He was really
Yeah.
okay with being a weirdo,
Yeah.
right? So that sat with me well because like I always felt like I was kind of weird as a kid.
Yeah.
So instantly I just started listening to a lot of rap after
Yeah.
that. And then honestly, right around that age, so my mom was in like a lot of abusive relationships.
Okay.
um we would move around from state to state to state as a kid,
Yeah.
and my mom would like date these guys who would like they would literally beat her up, man. Like they would beat her up bad friend. And she met this one guy when I was like 8 9 years old, and
Yeah.
he got her pregnant, and he ended up like beating her so bad, man,
Oh damn.
that my sister was
Hmm.
like, she was stillborn. She died in my mom's
Oh
stomach.
shit.
But when she was born,
Hmm.
she had indents in her skull, man. Like here, she had indents like in the back of her head from the
Oh
guy punching my
shit.
mom. Yeah. So when I started to really go through that, that stuff obviously took like a really dark toll on me.
Yeah.
I got diagnosed with PTSD,
Of course. Yeah.
depression, and bipolar at a very young age.
I mean, I
Um,
can't even. I mean, I've seen these things in movies and all, where people actually go. I mean, go through the abusive household stuff like that. But I've never actually met someone in person to talk about it. And I mean, I suppose the only thing that I can say is being an 8 or 9 year old diagnosed with PTSD, bipolar, and stuff like that, depression, and all these things, and seeing you at the age of 30, rapping, spreading love, working on your creativity, having a very loving wife, respecting her as a woman. I mean, you have turned it around, and I think you've dealt with it in such a great way that people should actually take your example, and whenever they're doing something or going through something bad, uh, they should actually look at you and your story and feel that he found something, for himself that actually led him to do these good things. So let me just try and put in that hard work to find my thing and turn this shit around, and make people understand that peace and love is what you should spread, and not hatred, not abusive personalities. I mean, nothing abusive should be promoted in any way. So I
it,
think kudos to
it's
you,
so
man.
funny.
I salute you
It's
for
so
that.
funny you say that too, man. I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah.
That means a lot to me because like at a young age I went through a lot. I wasn't always this man. I was in and out of juvenile facilities a lot
Yeah.
as a young adult.
Yeah.
I used to get in a lot of fights a lot because I had
Of
really bad
course.
anger
Of
issues.
course. Yeah.
Um, but like you said, how people should find their light in my story. That's kind of what led me on to like my favorite rapper of all time, Eminem, of course.
Hey.
Um,
I mean, the first
so
rapper you listened to was Wu Tang, but the first rapper I listened to was Eminem. So even today, when there's an Eminem rap or like a track that releases or whatever, I mean that hype, that shit is real.
man, it's rude, man. He is honestly one of the across the world, one of the biggest
Yeah.
rappers who I think have influenced probably like probably more people than anybody in the world. He's
Yeah.
as far as like a musician. Um, but literally like I when I was 8 9 years old, um, my mom would be getting beat by this man in in my house, and
Yeah.
I would go, man, to a back alley like by my house. I would sit in a back alley. I would put headphones on.
Yeah.
I would listen to Eminem, and like you said, man, I would listen to his story, and I would
Yeah.
hear how worse his story was than my life. His
Yeah.
story, he went through so much more than I did. Even though
Yeah.
what I was going through in the moment seemed like it was the worst thing in the world,
Yeah.
me me being able to hear him tell what he was going through as a child saved my life because it showed me, look at him. He should be nothing. He literally, if you look at his backstory,
Yeah.
that's the definition of someone who should be a drug
Yeah.
addict or and
Yeah.
be in jail.
That is true.
Friggin', and he turned his whole life around, and he showed you that you can do whatever you want with your life as long as you try to do it. As long as you put the effort in, you
Yeah,
can do it.
that is true.
For-
That
That's why
is.
he's my favorite artist.
I mean, I think everyone who listens to Eminem for his lyrics and not just his fame, I guess everyone who does that is for this very particular reason. That's called inspiration. You know, everyone like he has so many different stories to tell about his life. His life is really, really, depressing when it comes to his early life. But it's also so happening. There are so many different stories, for him to tell through his raps, that each and every one of us has something to relate to. Whoever is going through something bad has something to relate to, and he gives us a chance, all of us a chance to actually change that around. So I guess, Eminem is something. How do I say? Eminem is an icon who has stayed relatable for around 20 years now. So it's crazy,
And honestly, like that's the that when every even since the day I like even before I was serious about the music, I always knew that that's what I wanted from the music. I don't want a million fans. I
Yeah,
don't want I don't want a million plays overnight. I
yeah,
don't want to go viral on TikTok.
exactly.
I
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's the
don't
same
those aren't
thing
the things
with
I
me.
want.
Yeah,
Yeah, I want to make a lasting impression on
yeah,
1,000 people. It's okay. I want to be a 9 to 5 rapper.
uh,
I want to make enough money a week that I could make like $400 a week that I could make at like a regular 9 to 5 job where I could just not work and I could just pursue my passion
yeah.
100%.
That is true. That is true. So as you said, uh, an artist's goal should always be to reach his audience. Um, every artist has a story to tell. Every artist has something to say to his audience, that the audience will, when they listen to it, they'll feel something, or they'll learn something out of it. They'll realize something out of it, and that will actually help them change their mind for the good, I suppose. So I guess when you said that you don't need a million views on TikTok overnight, that's the same thing with me. I don't need to go viral. I don't want to go viral because that is something which is momentary. But when it's organic growth, when you're
Right.
gaining followers through time, and slowly over the span of maybe 5-6 years, you have enough people listening to you and learning from you, and you are earning enough money to actually have a viable lifestyle. I guess that's the goal, because your job is done there. So I agree to that.
Exactly. Because it is as long as I would say as long as anyone is doing something that they're completely happy with
Yeah,
and making money that they're happy with making,
yeah,
and you have reached a successful life. You don't have to be a millionaire. You don't have to be the biggest social media influencer to be
yeah,
successful. You have to set your own goals and meet them. And
yeah,
when you meet your own goals, that's how you meet success. I feel like a lot of people try to meet other people's goals. A lot of
yeah,
people see what other people do on social media and they want to meet those same goals and those same expectations. And that's not realistic for everyone in the world.
yeah,
Me and you are going to have different goals in life
yeah,
because we're different people. That's just the way that it should be.
yeah,
Social media, as much as I love social media because it gave me the opportunity to meet you,
yeah.
um, social media is super toxic.
Dude, did you?
I
I
don't
mean,
think that people.
did you? Do you remember last year something happened? TikTok kids, the teenagers on TikTok, were trying to cancel Eminem, and that is
Yeah, oh
that is
yeah,
one of the
of course.
biggest proofs of how social media can be toxic. These kids today, you know, they don't realize what Eminem did. They don't realize what Eminem means to us, and they don't even realize what Eminem means to the world. When you say cancel Eminem, that is one of the dumbest things you can say, in public. I mean, if you don't want
Man,
to embarrass yourself, don't say that shit out loud.
cancel culture in general is toxic because what
Yeah,
they do, right, is
yeah,
what they literally, this is cancel culture, right? The cancel culture is going to listen to 5 seconds of this podcast,
yeah,
and they're gonna wait for a part that they don't like, and as
yeah,
soon as they hear a part they don't like, they're gonna take it to Twitter and they're gonna cancel us because of it.
yeah,
They're not gonna they're gonna take it out of context. They're not gonna
yeah,
listen to everything that we said about the subject. They're gonna
yeah,
listen to the part that they wanted to hear,
yeah,
and then they're just gonna take it out of context.
yeah. That is so true. I mean, that's true.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
seen that
That's
happening in
why.
India a lot. There have been a lot of movies in controversial in a very controversial setup, and there have been riots, man, in India too, based on these things, and these things were taken so out of concept, and people never realized that it's just fiction. It's up to the audience as to how they perceive this, and someone in particular should not and cannot influence someone else to look at the same way they do, because
Right.
I guess everyone has their own perspective when it comes to anything. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. Keep it yourself. If you don't like it, try something else. You don't need to
Yep.
say. I mean, if you want to give an opinion about how something you saw or listened to was, you don't need to be toxic about it. You can just say, I mean, I didn't like it, but a lot of people nowadays are liking it, so maybe you can give it a try, or something of that sort, where you also
Right.
encourage someone to give it a try, because it might not be the same way they perceive it, but also putting it out there
And
that, okay, I don't like it, that's how it is, and there's nothing wrong about
and
being honest. Yeah,
I feel like that on both like spectrums of things. Like I tell this is one thing for the last 2 years.
yeah,
I've actually cut a lot of people off around me because of that.
yeah,
So I get on each spectrum of the scale.
yeah,
I have like yes men
yeah,
who literally I show them music and they're just like, oh, this is dope. Everything's dope. Like, and that as an artist, that doesn't do anything for me
yeah,
because you have to tell me what you like about it.
yeah,
So I know what to keep doing, and you have to tell me what you if you don't like it, you have to tell me what you don't like about it. You
yeah,
can't just go, oh, this is trash.
yeah,
You have to tell me why you don't like it, because if you don't like it, I can improve what
yeah,
on things, and if you tell me what you liked, then I can make sure I stick to like improving
yeah,
the things that you like.
yeah,
So yeah,
I agree.
criticism in this field is definitely one of the most important things, and it's one of the most vulnerable things, because me people
Yeah,
like me and you are we're artists. We're putting our souls out there
yeah,
for the world
yep.
to judge. So yeah, be easy with us, guys.
I mean,
We're very sensitive.
when it comes to criticism, it needs to be constructive when it comes to us, because you need to tell us where we are maybe wrong, or not doing it right, and how can we actually improve on that if you have any idea about it. And if you don't, you can just tell us what you don't like listening to as a listener, as an audience, and maybe we can tell you the first things first, since it's our personal space as to how we do things. Maybe the first thing we'll do is we'll tell you what was the vision behind it, what was the reason behind it, and if you're still not satisfied, then maybe, just maybe, we can do something about it if we feel that, okay, it is important to address it. And
Mhm.
as much as we are sensitive, we also, it's also very easy for us to figure out when you're being toxic and when you're being just shallow as fuck, and coming to us and
Yep.
saying, dude, this is the thing that's not working out. I don't know why it isn't working out, but it just doesn't sound right to my ears. That's not constructive criticism, guys. Just because you pointed something out, that's not. You need to tell the reason behind it. That's very important.
Exactly.
Yeah.
100%. Yep. So another one thing I actually wanted to talk to you about.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was thinking about it the other day. I wanted to get into COVID a little bit with you, and like COVID-19 and
Yeah.
how it's affecting like your area and stuff like that. Because as Americans, so especially like so, me and my wife were just talking about this last night.
Yeah.
Um, we see videos all the time,
Yeah.
and it shows us that you guys are like going through like this crazy thing dealing with COVID, like a lot of deaths. Like I think my wife the other day said she's seen a video of like bodies being burned in the street.
I mean, okay, I'll tell you something. Okay, so there was this report on Instagram that was all statistics, and I mean, it was supported by some credible sources. I'm not going to go into the political side of things because that's not viable for my channel, and I'm also very apolitical, so let's not go there. But I can say from the current situation that the healthcare system is definitely not at par with the pandemic. You know, I won't say that the healthcare system has failed us, because no, they are doing overtime. You know, the doctors are here are doing
Right.
overtime, the nurses are doing overtime, the compounders, the ambulance drivers, everyone is doing overtime stuff. You know, there have been people in India who, I mean, there was a guy who sold his vehicle to actually buy oxygen cylinders and distribute it to people and help them out. And
Wow.
there was a guy who literally there's something called an auto rickshaw. Okay, here they're like mini open taxis. Okay, for 3 to 4 passengers at a
Yep.
time. And what that guy did is he sold his wife's jewelry, and he set up an oxygen bed in his auto, and he made it an ambulance. And he has
Wow.
actually helped 800 to 900 critical patients reach hospital at the right time with the help of oxygen beds.
Wow.
So that is something
That's
mind blowing.
amazing.
So
That is the power of one person. Look at that.
yeah,
The power of one person right there.
yeah,
Wow. That
exactly.
is
So when it comes to the pandemic, it has outright shown us the reality of our healthcare system. We need to improve. We definitely need to improve a lot on that part. But one thing that is true is that, I mean, all of us are coming together to help each other out, you know, because if you see our social media, you know, accounts, any Indian social media accounts is filled with requests for leads about oxygen cylinders, oxygen beds, ventilator beds, remdesivir injections, you know, all these things, you know, everything that is needed for the COVID-19 medication when you're critical. And
That's awesome.
that is one side of the story, and the other side is people working overtime to help these people, you know, even us, even we youngsters and the teenagers that are on Instagram nowadays, any of us whenever find any lead or any request that we can put up on our story and amplify it as much as possible and help other people, we do it, man. Like, we play our
That's
part as
awesome.
much as we can. So I think COVID has bent us down on our knees, but it's 1.3 billion people on their knees, and we're still strong enough
Still
to
going.
keep going, you know. So that's what it is with
That's
India right now.
That's awesome. I think with like the media and stuff. That's why I wanted to ask that question, because if a few of my followers watch this,
Yeah.
I know that a lot of them are interested in COVID right now. Um, I feel like we hear things that like are drastic. They might not always be true. They might be like just overplayed. So it's nice to hear like the perspective from someone who's actually there living it on a
Yeah.
day-to-day basis.
So it's more like, you know, um, okay, I'll put it out there. The media is not ideal in India.
Right. The media is not ideal in America.
I mean, it's not ideal anywhere. Okay, so no matter which topic they talk about, they always have to make it political. You know, when it comes to COVID, they'll always talk about the government in power and the government in opposition. And they want to talk about what are the governments doing, you know, and whom to blame. They find people to blame, but instead of doing that, what these people should do is get to the depth of how many cases a day are being reported, because so many cases are going unregistered. I'm not gonna lie, the media told us that there are around 300k cases, okay, 300,000 cases coming a day. But then this report that I found on Instagram, as I was talking about, it had a lot of statistics and real statistics that
Right.
showed us that on an average there might be 4.4 million cases, up to 4.4 million cases coming a day. But we
Jeez.
are unable to know about 4.1 million cases because of the negligence from media and from
Right.
the news sources. And I guess it's not just about amplifying, it's also about negligence. So it's both sides of the story, you know. And when it comes to the number of cases that are being recovered, nobody's reporting how many people have been recovered. Nobody's reporting as to how many percentage of the people are critical. Nobody is reporting as to which age group is critical and which is not. Whom to who should be
That's crazy.
more precautious of
Right.
as compared to the others, and who should be on the
And
lookout of anything that could happen. So
do you guys have the vaccine rolled out over there yet?
the vaccine was rolled out for the 45 plus, age group people, but and it was gonna start for 18 to 45, age group from today. But the place where we had to register, the servers weren't good enough for the population that we have in India. So the first things first, the registration had a lot of problems, and the second thing, the doses are actually coming to. I mean, they're exhausted, so they need to roll out more doses, and it has been delayed in a lot of states. So that is the reality.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So on that
Okay.
account, we're still not so good. I was expecting to be vaccinated with the first dose today or tomorrow, and I'll have to wait. I guess I'll have to wait till September, because the state government here announced that there are not enough vaccines to actually distribute it in the state, and they'll
Right.
take by September to actually start the trial. So it's basically a 4-month delay, which is a huge delay when it comes to handling a pandemic. So yeah, there are a
crazy.
lot of discrepancies, man. And I guess my only message to your Indian fans would be, there are innumerable people being irresponsible about this, careless about this, going out without masks. You need to double mask up. The government has released guidelines to put on 2 masks at a time. Only a cotton mask will not work. Always have a surgical
Yeah.
mask on with a cotton mask or any other mask that you're using. And the second thing, go out if it's totally necessary. Do not go out unnecessarily, And there are innumerable influencers and people on Instagram that are actually checking their DMs right now. Famous people that are actually checking their DMs. There are stand-up comedians, there are social media influencers, there are actors. I don't know about a lot of actors, but yeah, stand-up comedians, social media influencers, famous dancers from India. All of these guys are putting up stories of leads and people who need help. So if you want your message to be amplified, anybody who has who has more than 1,000 followers, you should text them, you should DM them on Instagram, and if you have any leads, if you need any help, text them on Instagram. They'll put it up on their story, and they'll do whatever they can to help you.
That's
To their
awesome.
best, So we are here to help you.
See, that's the stuff that the media needs to be putting out there too more, is that how much
Exactly.
that everyone's getting involved and everyone's helping each other, because then it'll influence more people to get involved and more people to help.
Exactly.
So,
And
nah,
we need numbers, man.
stuff that
Statistics. I guess statistics are one of the most important things right now. You can't just talk
Cool.
about the pandemic in terms of innumerable cases coming in and I don't know, just innumerable people getting critical, innumerable people being getting recovered. Recovering. It's all about how many of them are actually in each of the categories. You need to give us the numbers to have that mindset as to how to deal with it exactly. Obviously, taking precautions is the first priority for everyone, but there might be people out there who need to be extra cautious about it, because there are people with comorbidity case issues. There are people who
Yep.
who actually have diabetes. My own father has diabetes, and
Yep, my mother has diabetes as well, and
yeah,
my grandmother has COPD, so she's
yeah,
on an oxygen tank. So yeah,
yeah.
man, like that's like super precautious. Like I barely ever get to see them anymore because of
Exactly.
that.
And the point is, my dad goes to a plant. We have a steel plant here,
Mhm.
so he's actually an engineer at the plant,
Okay.
and my God, he is exposed. He's exposed to so many people in a day, and he has to be masked up the whole day. And I'm very scared for him. Although he has taken both the doses of his vaccines, but I'm still very scared for him because you never know what would happen. So I always keep whenever he goes to office and comes back, the first thing that I tell him to do is go and get washed up, go and get fresh,
Yep.
and sanitize everything that possible, because if God forbid, if any day he comes in with the infection, it shouldn't spread to the other members of the family. It should be as it should be as compact as possible. And
Right, because he might not get sick because he's vaccinated, but if there's anybody else in your family that hasn't been, and
yeah,
you guys
I
are
haven't
exposed.
been, dude. I literally
Right.
haven't been because of the problem with the vaccination right now. So I mean, there are a lot of factors, and that is why the only thing I can say is, on a personal level, everybody right now needs to be as precautious as possible. Stay home, stay safe. We creators,
Stay up.
we creators are actually giving our all to you guys to entertain you guys and keep you home. So
Exactly.
listen to us. We are trying our best to add value to your lives, and stay safe. That's all I want to say.
Yep. That's what this is all about, man. Yep.
Yeah,
Especially during this time right now, I feel like it shows, man, it shows how important that entertainment really is to this world because,
exactly.
like, honestly, what would have everyone done over these past few months if it wasn't for like virtual concerts and stuff like that,
Forget
man?
forget
I
few
know.
months, past 1 year. We can talk in terms of year right now.
Yeah,
So
for
I mean,
um,
you know what happened? I'll tell you a story. So my I was in my college in March last year. It was my last semester going on, and I was doing a project for the last semester. And dude, guess what?
what?
Middle of March, my dad calls me up and he's like, on 15th March, he calls me up and he's like, I've booked your tickets for tomorrow. You're coming down here. And I'm like, wait, you didn't even ask me. The situation of COVID is still fine in India. I might just get by this semester. I don't know, because the classes haven't been suspended yet. The college hasn't taken any
Right.
decision. On 15th of March last year, I remember it distinctively. There were just 3 cases, in
Hmm.
India. And I was like, well, I have to ask my professors. And he's like, you're not asking anyone. I don't care if you're missing your classes. You have to be home tomorrow because
Oh,
there might be a lockdown soon. And he anticipated it right. We had a lockdown a week later. And and also, luckily, I knew that it's a pandemic. So as soon as my father called me home and he said that it might be a lockdown, I packed all of my clothes that I used to wear, daily there. I left
yep.
all the old clothes that I didn't use anymore, but all the clothes that I used to wear every day, I packed them up.
All
I
the good
brought them
stuff.
home.
Yeah.
And there were people who thought that this would just be a 2 week thing. So let me just pack 2 to 3 pairs of clothes and go home. And those guys, I mean, that was such a dumb move, man. I just, whenever
Man.
I met them, I just told them, China being China, and dealt with COVID for 4 months, and you thought that India would deal with it and deal and be done with
Any
it in two
faster.
weeks. I'm like,
Yeah.
you
Hmm.
should have brought all your clothes, dude. You shouldn't have taken a chance. So that's how it started, and then all of a sudden, it took a toll on my mental health. It took a bad toll on my mental health. Uh, I have experienced being knocked down a lot of times in my life, but COVID was something very different. Okay, so my college didn't do me right, because, I mean, in the last semester I did a project and I did a really good project. The Whatever my professor asked me to do, I did it,
Mhm.
but he gave me a C minus at the end of it.
Wow.
And I asked him, sir, what could have I done differently to actually get an A? And he said, I don't know, and that hurt me.
Wow.
My mentor said this to me, and that hurt me to a level I've never been so hurt. That was my genuine work put in. I put hours into it. I put months into it, and I made a software model that I was supposed to. I was given a research paper. I was supposed to make a software model of it. The hardware model was going to be ready by the end of that semester, but it wasn't possible due to COVID, so that was taken
Right.
away. But then we were going to be judged based on the software model, and we were successfully able to render it, and yet I get a C minus. And then I tell my HOD that this isn't right. I talked to my mentor, and he says I couldn't have done anything better to get an A. So how is it my fault that I'm getting a C minus? I didn't compromise on
Yeah.
anything in my paper, in the research paper. I told you how it works. I told you what is the functionality, and the software works. So what do you want me to do?
See.
And he says,
Yeah. Exactly.
and he says nothing can be done about it. You have to just stay the way you are, or else you can give it for re-evaluation, where you'll be judged again, and you'll have an interview. You'll have a viva again. I'm like, okay, I'm not giving a viva to you again based on the work I've done once. Okay, that is
Right.
just you taking 200% from me for 100% of my work, and I'm not doing that. So do hell with you. And then I was like, do hell with this, shit, because my trust from systems, may it be the education system or may it be the corporate system. I mean, it was taken away from me. My trust was broken, and that was the time I realized I have to absolutely work for myself and I have to start working for myself, and I need to add value to people's lives, and that is why I'm doing what I'm doing. I mean,
Honestly, then that was probably like that moment.
yeah,
You put your 100% into it, and you still have the same outcome. So I feel like that moment was just like a destined type moment,
yeah,
because man, a lot of people don't realize what you realized in that moment. They don't realize like you are supposed to go out there and you're supposed to get it for yourself, man. You're supposed
yeah,
to go out there and you're supposed to do it your own way. Because
exactly,
if everybody does, listen, if I go out and I do something that and somehow, some way it betters the world in any way,
mm.
and you go out and you do something somehow that betters the world in any way, and the next person does the next person, we're gonna have a better world.
Yeah,
It's destined to happen. But the thing is when people go out and they lose sight of wanting to accomplish dreams and wanting to be something of themselves, they go and they have to work for someone else and try to accomplish someone else's dreams. And 9 times out of 10, man, that is not going to work, because you don't want to do someone else's dreams. You
yeah,
really want to do your own dreams. So
exactly,
your mental health is going to despair. And then that's why I truly believe we have all the negativity we have in the world. That's why
yeah,
I believe we have like the mass shootings we have. That's why I believe we have like all these violent things happen, because people just are not happy with themselves. If
yeah,
you were happy with yourself, why would you want to go hurt somebody?
yep. That's that. I mean, it wouldn't cross your
It
mind.
just Yeah, exactly. The exact thing. It just would not cross your mind at all, because the only time that I ever have negative thoughts,
Yeah,
I find, is when I'm toxic to myself.
yeah.
Um,
You're not in a good mental space that time, and that's when the negative thoughts
yeah,
start to kick in. That's true.
yeah, and it's like because all the things I went through in my past and stuff.
Yeah,
Like one of my real big problems was seeing everything that happened to my mom and stuff.
yeah,
Um, I have I have I have like ego issues. I have like if people test me, I feel like I'm better at it nowadays. But when I was younger, I always felt like I had to like step up and do something about it, because
yeah,
when I was a kid, I never did anything when I was watching my mom get hit.
yeah.
So, so as I got older, I didn't realize that at first. I was just going through life, and every time someone said something to me that I didn't like, I would get real angry, and I would
Mm.
be violent, or I'd do something crazy. But as I now I'm getting older, and I had that moment of like I just woke up, like you had your wake up moment. Like
Yeah,
I just woke up and I realized, why am I doing all this? Why do I allow people to push my buttons with words and
yeah,
make me, you know what I mean? Like, why do I do that? And I thought about it, and when I thought about it, I was like, wow, all the things I went through in my past, I never really did anything like I felt like when I was a kid,
yeah.
being the only son to my mother, who
Hmm.
was my only parent. My dad was not in the picture. Um, I felt like I let my mom down, but I realize now as a man that I was just a child,
Yeah,
and there was nothing I could have done then.
yeah,
There was nothing I could have done. That was just something that I shouldn't have experienced. I should have never went through that anyway.
yeah.
So like I had no power or control over the situation. So
That's true.
now yeah, as I learn that as an adult now, it helps me a little bit with the idea of, okay, I don't always have to be so egotistical, and I don't always have to be that guy, because you know I didn't mess up in my past. I didn't do
Yeah.
anything wrong. I just kind of I went through a horrible past, and I
That
had
was
some horrible
someone
things happen.
else. That was someone else messing up your environment. That was what was happening, and and as you said, I mean, these ego issues. When you realize that, yeah, it's not because you are actually doing something for yourself that made you do those violent things, but it was just somebody pushing your buttons. As you said, someone else had
Exactly.
control of you, and that is why you start to realize, as you did, you start to realize that, okay, I don't need to have like take those drastic measures uh, until there is that certain drastic situation in front of me. Like obviously drastic situations call for drastic measures, but until then, if someone is just talking to you like a mindless one, talking to you with like a no-brainer, as you say it, just criticizing you or abusing you for no reason. I mean, obviously verbally abusing you for no reason. Just walk away, man, because even if you try and make him understand, he is not in that mental space to listen to anybody at that moment.
Because he's not happy with himself.
Exactly.
Yo.
And if you want to do anything, just say one sentence to him, you need therapy, and walk away. And that will trigger him to a point where he'll actually go into a situation where he has to think of it, later on, as to what you said earlier. And it'll actually it might lead him to take therapy, and that'll do him better,
Right.
So the
Right.
best you can do in that
He's either gonna
situation is
hate you
get
or he's
therapy,
gonna
man.
take your advice.
Yeah. So yeah.
I actually have this verse that I wrote I have a song that I released. I was a feature on it. My friend, he's from Germany. He's
Okay.
a singer-songwriter. His name's Anya. Um, he plays guitar, he plays the piano, and he sings. He's a very talented
Oh
individual.
wow.
Yeah, but we did this song together, and it's all about mental health. And I wrote this verse, and this verse is on the topic of everything of like kind of what happened to me in my life. I would love to take this opportunity if I could break it down real quick, actually.
Sure.
Um, so the verse goes, let me take you for a walk. Let me try explain these thoughts in my head. Put the pen to the pad, drawing blank checks. Have everything that I want then. Break bread with my mom and my pops, never been involved with the cops. Then my mom would have never been involved with these chumps. Moving state to state till one jumped the gun. Took my sister's life so he did that shit for fun. Wonder if he ever thinks about the years to come. My mental state and the way he fucked me up. Should I highly doubt it? That's why I love these trees. Should I hide behind them? I get real high, it'll force a smile. Tricks of the trade when you force to mingle with people on a daily and them voices in you. Keep trying to convince you that you crippled.
Wow.
So yeah, man. So the to start off the verse, I said, let me take you for a walk. Let me try to explain these thoughts in my head. I put the pen to the pad. I'm drawing blank checks. So a blank check, when you have a blank check, right?
Yeah.
It means that
People can put any
any
amount in.
amount.
Yeah.
It means you should have everything that you want, right?
Yeah.
So I said after that, then I should have everything that I want then. I could break bread with my mom because me and my mom have had a horrible relationship because of all the things that we've went through in our past.
Yeah.
I won't lie. I put a lot of blame towards her, a lot of hate towards her
Yeah.
because of the decisions she made,
Yeah.
and that just I feel like she put men in her life before me a lot, and
Yeah.
that messed me up a lot as a kid. But as I'm getting older, we're kind of kindling our relationship, and it feels good. So
Hmm.
you know, with the blank check, then I should have everything I want. You know what I mean? I should have my life shouldn't be this way really. Then if I have a blank check, so um, I could break bread with my mom. My dad, he would have never been involved with the cops because
Yeah.
my dad is he's a gang member. He's a Latin king. He sold crack cocaine and a lot of other
Oh.
drugs all of my life. So he was never in my life because he was in prison. So
Oh.
I stop and wonder sometimes if my dad was a different person and he chose to do the right things and he chose to be involved with my mom and involved with my life probably would have been really different. You know what I mean?
Might have been
I probably
better.
would have been,
Yeah.
yeah, you know what I mean? It could have been better, you know?
Of course.
So I should have that. You know, if I have a blank check, I have everything I want. I should have my dad, I should have my mom,
Yeah.
and then you know, and then my mom, she would have never been involved with all these chumps, all these dudes who were beating her and stuff. And then we would have never moved state to state until one jumped the gun. He took my sister's life. I swear he did that shit for fun
Yeah.
because like this guy, he used to just like, I swear he liked beating my mom. Like
Yeah.
he used to lock my mom in closets, man, and like not let her spend time with me and stuff.
Shit, dude.
So I I just that makes me feel like it to him it was a good time. To him, he enjoyed doing what he was doing. So and then I stopped to ask myself, I wonder if he ever thinks about the years to come, my mental state, and the way he fucked me up.
Yeah.
I wonder right now, like I'm a 30-year-old man, man. I wonder if that guy, I
Mm.
say, actually, I'd love to say his name here. His name is Eugene. Um,
Yeah.
I wonder if he ever to this day stops and goes, damn, I wonder what I did to that little kid who had to, I did such horrible things to his mother and he saw those things. I wonder what kind of man he is today because of that.
Yeah.
I wonder if he ever does that, if he ever stops to think about those things. But I highly doubt it. That's why I love these trees. Should I hide behind them? And that's it. Because I get real high and it forces a smile, man. All the shit I've been through, this shit is literally what makes me have a good time in life sometimes. Like sometimes I struggle to have a good time in life when I'm not
So,
smoking and when I'm not.
I mean, it's as if like, I mean, cannabis helps you with the PTSD that you sometimes have, with the things that happen in the childhood. You know, the drastic things that happen with you in the childhood.
Man, cannabis has been such a anchor for me for PTSD and bipolar. Like when I don't smoke, it's like I flip the switch. My wife can vouch for that. Like
I get it.
my anger issues are there a little more. I'm so quick to and edgy, um, you know. And before I actually was old enough and I got into cannabis, and it's actually legal where I'm from,
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
that's
I know
great.
that. I know that.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so that's great. But before that, man, when I tell you they had me on like 15 different medications.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, man.
I have actually read about this. I've researched quite a bit about cannabis, and I've read about this that um, cannabis is actually a treatment for opium addicts, people who are on drugs, and
Heroin.
people who are actually taking opium medications for pain and for stuff like that. Um, Cannabis can actually help with that, and you won't even be addicted. You know, it's just something that I mean, there are no withdrawals to cannabis. That's what I've heard. You know, because if you don't smoke it, you are just someone who you were before you smoked it up. And if you smoke it, you are just a very mellow version of what you were. And I guess mellow version of anything is great. It's vibey,
It,
you know. So yeah.
if think about it, if all of our like presidents and world leaders and everything just like smoked weed, man, and just
I
like
mean, yeah.
just sat back and were
Dude,
like,
imagine the UN office having bong, each one of them having one bong rip, you know, the bong passing. That's
just in
great.
a circle past it.
That's
Like
crazy.
have you ever seen that 70s show? It's an American show. I don't know if
I've
you
heard
got
about it. I have to watch it. My one of my
man.
American friends actually suggested it, so I have to watch it. Yeah.
It's so funny, man. And they have a scene where like they put the cameras to like how we are
Yeah.
face front, and
Yeah.
they're all like smoking. They don't show them smoking, and it's very insinuated that they're smoking.
Yeah.
Um and they just go from like they pan from one face to the next face and they just talk about stuff, man. And it just you know what I mean? It just gets deep. It just
Yeah.
gets deep, man. And it's very funny. So great show. I definitely highly recommend it.
All right. I'll watch it. I'll give it a watch. And by the way, I mean, I've actually seen videos of cannabis helping people with Parkinson's. You know, their nervous system is totally, I mean, out of control, man. They're shivering the whole time. They can't walk without a stick, and the whole body is twitching. I can only imagine what that feels like. And then as soon as they take 2 dabs of marijuana, they they sit
They're
down,
fine.
and they're literally like they literally act like a normal person. They can move like a normal person, and they can
Yep.
think like a normal person. And I'm like,
Yep.
cannabis is a boon to these guys. I mean, cannabis is a boon to the world, I guess. And
It
my
is.
I'll tell you something. My own grandpa, you know, I talked to my dad about it, and I got to know that my own grandpa, um, he actually took, ingested cannabis. That's the way he went about it. Edible. There is an edible. There's an edible called bhang. So that is sort of legal in India because it has a religious significance. It is actually consumed by a god in our mythology. Shiva, you know Shiva,
Nope.
So
Okay.
there's a god called Shiva. So he actually, it's a part of his
yeah,
meal.
okay, yeah.
Yeah. So it's a part of his meal. We call it bhang. And so my grandpa, my dad's dad, my paternal grandpa, he actually ingested cannabis for more than 30 years, and he didn't have a single health problem until he was 81. Basically,
Wow.
he had his first health problem in 2020. He was, I guess he
Wow.
was diagnosed with BP or sugar. I don't know, but 81, dude. Until
Yeah,
then,
and that's
he
not
was
even, like,
absolutely
serious.
healthy. I mean, he wasn't fit. He never went to the gym. Uh, he was just a normal villager from a village in a state called Bihar here, and he didn't have a single health problem earlier. I'm
Amazing.
like, shit, dude, that is crazy. And my dad has had BP, sugar, and diabetes for like 10 years now, like since he was 40, 45, I don't know. And it's just crazy, man. That guy had nothing for almost double the amount of years my dad had nothing. And
Now we have a lot more processed food and like stuff like that
that is
too.
that is
That
true. That is
so
true.
bad for you, man. Like people
Yeah.
don't realize like that you concern all this stuff.
Dude,
Like
I I realizing it, and being into fitness, I still consume it sometimes
oh,
because it's so tasty that you can't let it go. But I agree. At some point, I'm definitely gonna look away from those things and always go for something
man.
that tastes good and is healthy. I'm
When it
also
comes to junk food and processed food, I'm definitely like I love like stuff like that. But man, I gave up soda 3 years ago. I have not drank soda for like 3 years. Um,
damn.
that right there, that had like early mornings. It makes waking up in the morning so much better. I feel like I
Is
have
it?
so much more energy. Oh man,
Shit.
getting the caffeine out of your body and all that toxic that comes with soda, so good for you.
Damn. That's nice.
So good for you.
I'll try giving it up.
Man.
I mean, it's difficult, but yeah, I'll
Water,
try. Yeah.
water, and natural juices. That's why I supplement
Natural
with
juices. Yeah.
water. Yeah, it's great.
That's nice, dude.
Um, I fucking-
Oh man, it was fun. 1 hour, 8 minutes of conversation, and
Ooh,
we've learned
that was
so
not
much
bad.
from each other, I suppose. I mean, yeah. I could make a movie on a story. I could literally make a movie on a story, and your character is so inspirational. Your journey is so inspirational. It's about a person who has been growing uh, in a very positive way after a certain age. Um, when the PTSD and the depression and I guess the bipolar nature it took over you, it was difficult, and you took help, and you worked on it through these years. You worked on it. You found something you love. You have a beautiful and loving wife. I mean, that's really romantic, and I'm a sucker for romantic relationships. So I'm really supportive of you and your wife too.
Thank you,
And
man.
I just hope that you continue making such good music for years to come. I hope that your audience grows. I'd love more people to listen to your music, and that's about it. There's so much to learn from you. I myself have learned so much from you. I'm going to implement some of it, that I haven't been able to maybe until now, like soda. That's something I'm definitely going to implement from today. So, well, thank you for coming to the podcast and giving us an insight on your life, on your journey till now, on your work. And I guess one last question would be, what do we expect from you in the coming days? Our people have already heard a track towards the starting, which is upcoming in a few days. And I guess, as you said, You're doing it with some big shots in Boston, you know. So that is definitely going to bring you some more recognition. So that's really good. What else? You know, what's other than that?
So first things first, I do definitely want to say, thank you for having me here. I appreciate it very much. I'll definitely come back anytime. I would like to come
Yeah,
back sometime and maybe get into like the business aspect of music because
for sure,
I
for
know
sure.
a lot of artists that follow me. They're just coming up, and I know that I would like to show them that I know it's fun making music, but there's also hard work to this, and I like to give them some pointers as well.
Yeah.
Um, but for the future, man, like you said, we previewed that track earlier. That track was called Dreamers. It's actually coming out a few months from now. So I have my next big album dropping. It's starting in June. It's gonna drop the first song on June 20th. The
That's
way we're
nice.
doing it is we're dropping a song a month. So there's 6 songs total. The first song drops in June. So then every song's gonna drop a month after that. The song that we previewed here is actually the second song off of the
Oh,
album. So that
so I
actually is
guess I
going to
guess
be
whoever are the viewers of this podcast, you know, they are the exclusive listeners, and they're the like they have the like first preview, you know, the red carpet event.
that's
This will
what
be the red carpet
that's what
event
I
for your
love
fans.
to exactly. That's what
Yeah.
I love to do. The ones that I know, like there's a few of them that I know, like I'll give a shout out right now, like my man Toxic Moves, he's from India.
Okay.
I know he's gonna come watch this whole thing. He's a day one fan, he's a true supporter, man.
That's amazing.
The fan base in India is actually dope. So everyone from India who's gonna come and watch, I appreciate y'all a lot. Everybody who watches this, I appreciate y'all a lot. Um and shout out to my man TJ Hickey. Y'all go check him out on YouTube. Literally, it's TJHICKEY. You can check as soon as you type that in on YouTube, you're gonna find him. He's a huge artist from my area. And then my man Kyle Bent, just as simple as it sounds, Kyle and then Bent. Um, you go check him out. You type those things on YouTube. They're gonna be the first people that pop up. I promise you. They're great artists. They're doing great things out here. I can't wait to release this new music. It's really gonna be something different. I promise you guys. I've switched lanes to more of a fun style. So all my conscious hip hop fans, I hope y'all can hang in there with me. We never give up on real hip hop. We're gonna get right back into real hip hop. Don't worry about that. But for the moment, we're gonna give the fans something fun to have fun with,
That's
play.
nice.
Yeah, man. I want y'all to just put this on your car and just bump it as loud as you can. The album is literally called Speaker Music. It's just something
Oh,
that slap. So
that's nice.
for be looking out for that. June 20th, the first song drops. It's called Big Mac. Um, yeah, man. It's just gonna be saucy.
That's nice. That's nice. So,
Um,
thank you so much for being a part of Couch Potato. And as you said, we'll definitely get to the part two soon. I mean, let's do it 1 or 2 weeks from now.
cool.
I mean, I have some things lined up too, so I'll be talking about it once we get off the podcast. Uh, so, other than that, I guess this is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you like the content, like, share, subscribe. I have some more people who will be coming in from Omegle. So I've been on Omegle for the past 7, 8 days, and I've met lots of new people. I've had lots of new ideas. So we'll be chilling on live streams. We'll be chilling with Psycho. We'll be chilling with maybe someday you'll bring Christine on.
Yep, I'll bring
And
my wife on next time.
yeah, and we'll do some live stream. We might play chess. We might play some Scribble. Anything. Yeah,
Hey, I'm a
we'll have
master
fun.
at chess, so let's
You
go.
are. I
Yeah,
I
I'm
actually
good.
want to learn chess. So I mean, whenever you have time, and I want to do a live stream, chess live stream, I guess you can come on and teach me something. Because I actually
Awesome,
want to
man.
learn. Yeah. So
Let's do it. That'd be so freaking cool.
all right, for
That'd be
sure.
awesome.
So I guess
Uh,
Psycho is gonna be a regular on my live stream, guys, because I absolutely want to learn chess. I love chess, but the only problem is since I don't have a teacher, it's a little difficult for me to learn by myself.
sure.
So
I got you, man.
okay, so thank you so much once again, and thank you everyone who has come back to Couch Potato. Stay tuned. I'll be releasing around 10 to 12 videos in the next 2 weeks,
Woo.
probably. Um,
So that means make sure you subscribe and hit the little bell on the side.
Yeah, the bell icon is important now because there's gonna be a lot of new stuff coming in. I am revamping the Couch Potato. I have a new introductory music, and it's dope, man. I'll send it to you on Instagram. I can't put it out here right now because, I mean, I guess this podcast will release with the introductory music, so I'm really excited. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you so much. And there will be 8-minute edits of the podcast coming on Instagram, guys. So keep an eye out on Instagram. My handle is in the description all the time, and you'll also find the link to it on the YouTube channel homepage. You'll find it everywhere. So take care, have fun, and it's COVID. Stay safe, help each other out. Mask up when you go out, double mask up when you go out, and go out only if it's necessary, maybe for medicines, maybe for groceries, but other than that, stay home as much as you can. I'm sure most of you are working from home, so work from home, and never stop gaining knowledge. Knowledge is important.
Never.
Knowledge is very important. It helps you grow in ways that you can't imagine, and it has helped me a lot in the past 3-4 months, and I'm going to continue this process. Talk to new people as I am doing, and as Psycho is doing on Omegle. We both are Omegle geeks right now, so I guess we both can vouch for the fact that Omegle is a great place to meet some new artists, some new people with a like-minded people, and people with different perspectives on life. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you so much. Take care. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. Couch Potato signing out.